What's up?
What up? What up? Here we are. Here
This
we
is
are,
Lacking
lacking
Wisdom
wisdom
with Zach
with
and
Zach and
Zach.
Zach.
Here's a question for the day. Should I be eligible to attend the temple if I celebrate Pride Month? That only took a couple tries.
Hey, it's okay. The
Formulating the question was a struggle for
Yeah.
us.
get
But yeah,
get the episode to get us canceled. It's early
yeah.
enough in this
To
in this
everyone
journey.
who knows me, I love Jesus. I just want you to know that. And my personal thoughts, which will come out as part of this episode. Hey, get it? Come out as part of the episode. They do not reflect any official statements by the church. And if you want to talk with me about my thoughts, our thoughts, or what we discuss, like, let's have a dialogue. And hopefully the conversation can be inclusive and understanding, but also be real about where we're at and maybe where we could be, or where we might imagine we could be or would be if Jesus was here, right? So it's June. It's Pride Month.
This June. It is.
Everyone listening, you know people probably close to you who are on the Pride spectrum. I have close family members and friends who are openly gay, and I'm happy for them. And there's likely some who are not openly gay, but struggle with it. It's something that we're learning more and more from the data that even now, with all of the changes to how our community and like even just being in the US at large affects everyone, it's still scary to come out as gay. So yeah, this month, Pride Month, is a celebration of those who are not, attracted to the opposite gender in the same way that most people are, right? And that there's value in their life and that we're happy they're here.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And that is kind of what we were saying. What we say is not official teachings of the church.
If you can't tell from our other episodes.
If you can't tell. But I don't think that we necessarily stray from, but got to make it clear on that too. That 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 we're on our own thoughts here on this too, and we it's been to your question. It's been it's always been a thought of mine going into temp recommend interviews and things like that of hey, like I love and support those that are a part of the LGBTQ plus community, and it's like the pride movement is such an important thing for people to feel included and frankly not want to take their lives, right? Like that's a big part of it, and how the pride movement started. It's not pride of like biblical pride. It's a different kind of like, hey, I'm proud of who I am, right? And
Yeah.
but that's I think that's where the struggle and why we're lacking wisdom comes into play, right? Is that always comes to mind of like, hey, I feel this way, but then in the temple recommend interview questions, one of them is, do you support or promote any teachings, practices, or doctrine contrary to those of the church? and so does that support, right? It it's clear and evident church stance um, is marriage between man and a woman, legally and lawfully wedded, right? Like that's the one, and that's where it's at. And I think it's a big part because the whole church foundation is obviously built on Christ, but then families beyond that. And that was kind of the interesting part too, is um, looking at the temple recommend interview questions. I was thinking of that one, but then I also thought of the question just before that. It's, do you follow the teachings of the Church of Jesus Christ in your private and public behavior with members of your family and others?
Hmm.
And I think that's interesting because the first question, or because the main commandment is love God, love others, right? And that's what that's what that question is, right? And then the next question, ooh, where do we go with the, if there's maybe practices or things that are contrary to those of the church, where do we stand with that when those are conflicting?
Yeah.
Those are kind of my initial, like, my thoughts with it all, and what makes it so hard, right? And I think I I'd at least not think I'd actually hope that most people feel that struggle in a
Yeah.
way. Like, I hope that most people are thinking of these questions seriously, because I think the temple is sacred and should be revered as such.
Yeah.
But then I also feel like we also need to be good humans and show love and support those that are part of such an ostracized community. Is that the right word? I just
Yeah.
used a big word.
Yeah.
That was a big word
Ostracism.
for me. Yeah. So,
In Japanese,
but
it's murahachibu.
wow, I do not know it in Spanish.
Can't
But
speak it fluently, but I know the word for ostracism
but you
because I
got,
used it 3 times and people complimented me for it.
wow,
Um,
wow. I'll compliment you for that. That was
all right,
awesome.
thank you.
But yeah,
Yeah,
like it's such a community though that's ostracized. And this is, I just want to get rid of like how taboo things are. Like, I think that if we kind of just let people be proud of who they were always, that we wouldn't have so much fighting and contention around this.
yeah, yeah. I think let's kind of walk through it this way, if it's all right.
Yeah. Yep.
Let's go through some of the content that the church has put
Mhm.
out. Let's walk through some of the doctrine that's in the
Mhm.
scriptures. Then let's go through like the culture of the church and realistically what it looks like for members today. And then can wrap it up with our additional personal thoughts and uh yeah, the things that we feel inspired or that we feel personally that are not from the church but can hopefully be a part of the culture moving forward to change the experience for those that have had poor experiences who are part of the Pride community. Yeah?
Yep. Let's do it.
Okay. All right. So, first thing I think we can pull up is when you look at the guide to the scriptures, there's a section on homosexual behavior. And under homosexual behavior, it shows, it says sexual association of individuals of the same gender. God forbid sexual activity of this kind.
Mhm.
Um, So there's a bunch of scriptures here. I think the one everyone thinks about when you think about like homosexuality or any mention of pride in the Bible, and pride, meaning gay pride, is Leviticus 20:13. Uh, King James Version says, "If a man also lie with mankind, as he lieth with a woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them." I don't like that. We'll start with that. Not a
Yeah.
big fan of the scripture, and it falls into the same category as some of the law of Moses items that I feel the same about in regards to like selling your daughter as a slave.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
that's where I'm at with this. Is yes, it's listing out because the verses before, I think the context is helpful here. Because in chapter 20 of Leviticus, it says the death penalty is prescribed for sacrificing children to Moloch. Big deal, sacrificing children, cursing father and mother, adultery, homosexuality, homosexual behavior, bestiality, spiritualism, which I don't know what the deal, but spiritualism I'll have to look into more. I'm not sure I understand that, and other abominations.
Probably
Various
like
laws and ordinances are listed.
witchcraft type stuff.
Yeah, I guess that makes sense. So before the verse on homosexuality, 2 verses before are the man that lieth with his father's wife hath uncovered his father's nakedness. Both of them shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. And if a man lie with his daughter-in-law, both of them shall surely be put to death. They have wrought confusion. Their blood shall be upon them. If a man also lie with mankind as he lieth with woman, both of them have committed an abomination. They shall surely be put to death. Their blood shall be upon them. Like a bunch of serious things, right? But it places homosexual gay sex, if you will, in the same camp as sleeping with your mom or sleeping with your daughter-in-law. Is that accurate to say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. Falls under the same law there.
So, and then there are a couple other references. Like we always talk about Sodom and Gomorrah as like homosexual community. There's also those scriptures in what we just talked about this the other week, like the Levite who was in
Yeah.
that city of Benjamin, and the men wanted him, and he cast his concubine out the door, and they had her instead. There are so many things I feel like that happen in the Bible. It's like, can we really make laws and understand what God wants based on some of these incredibly strange circumstances?
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also like the law of Moses um, within Exodus, and I'm assuming, is this additional law of Moses items like these?
Mm-hmm.
Is this the law of Moses in
Yeah.
Leviticus about these items?
Yeah. Pretty much everything
Okay,
is, from what I understand,
so,
or at least
I mean
that's
it's
the old law, right?
post
Yeah.
the death of Moses, right? At least
Right.
for the events of Leviticus, or is it? Is it? No. Gosh, credibility gone.
That's
Turns
okay.
out I'm
I
not a
still believe
scholar.
you.
Oh, Leviticus is one of the books of Moses. Duh. Yeah, still Moses. Law of
Mm-hmm.
Moses.
Yep.
Okay. Good news. Law of Moses was done away with. That came with Christ, right? Other things you feel like would be helpful to walk through in regards to, like, scriptural
Well, like
references?
you said, I think that, yep, law was done away with. I think it is made clear in Matthew 19, Jesus has the creation of male and female and speaks of marriage between man and a woman. That is important. Jesus does teach the two great commandments: love God and love your neighbor. Um, he also says, "Love one another as I have loved you." Right?
Hmm,
If we look in the Book of Mormon, we get um, Moroni 7, right? Charity suffereth long and is kind, seeketh not her own, beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things, endureth all things. Right? Like I think that we always have to bring that into the context too, right?
yeah.
Like it's easy to point and say, "Hey, you're doing this wrong thing," when that, yeah, like when we need to be focusing on us and the charity suffereth long, right? And I think that's where, with all of this, like it like that's what's like I get the I guess I kind of peeled back the other question of what what is the church afraid of?
Hmm,
Like,
what do you mean?
or like, so like, say that, and this could be for all churches, right? Like
Yeah.
Catholic Church, they generally have same thing, like still believe man and woman marriage, like they believe that's important. Um, and I believe so do I, right? Like I think that's important. Like marriage, it's awesome,
Yeah.
right? And but if I don't know, like it's what's the church afraid of if the laws? I guess my thought always kind of goes back to when I was in ninth grade and there was Proposition 8 in California, and that was like the big start of, oh no, like it's going to become the norm and everything like that. And that's where I'm like, are people afraid that because we allow same gender relationships that all of a sudden like we have to be gay? Like that, I feel like that's kind of the stigma, or like if we allow it, then everyone's going to be it. Like, yeah, like generally gay relationships, they're probably the happiest couples I've ever seen. Right? Like they
Yeah.
they they stick together. I think that I I saw a stat somewhere, so it's probably true. Um, that the gay relationships have it, for those that have been married, it's like their divorce rate's like 78% compared to the average 50% that's heterosexual. And so it's like the generally happier. If
So what you're
we're looking
saying
across.
is
So what you're saying is, but at the same time, I don't think that the numbers necessarily, like I think that the number is always going to stay about the same of those that are a part of the LGBTQ community, just in general. Like I think that heterosexuality is, like, by nature is what carries on the genes, like carries on
yeah.
life, right? Like all of humanity is based on that. And so let's say, 80% of the world is heterosexual, 20% same gender attraction. I think that those numbers could stay about the same. Again, I don't know all the numbers. I'm just making those up um, on there, but like I don't think that it's ever gonna flip to say, hey, yep, like now everyone's same, like everyone is a homosexual. Like that,
Yeah.
that. But
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think that's what people are afraid of, right? Or like that's what the church is afraid of.
Well, and
And I mean, again, it could be other things that, I don't completely see yet, but that's, yeah, kinda where my head's going.
we're afraid of what we don't know, for one,
Mm, yeah.
and there's always been such a religious emphasis on, um, gay sexual activity is an abomination, right? Like, that's pretty rough
Mhm,
for anybody that has experienced same-sex attraction or doesn't they don't that they fit into that pride spectrum, right? And I feel like my feelings have changed on this so
mm,
much because
mhm,
I mean, just when you and I were in high school and maybe even like early college, um, I feel like it was still like generally, at least in Utah and in the culture that we grew up in, it was still generally very unaccepted to be
mhm,
gay,
mhm,
except within like the arts community, like being in drama or in choir or
mhm,
something like that. And that's where people who were gay found refuge with those who would
mhm.
accept them.
Yeah.
And my biggest problem with it all is we generally, historically, treat gay people as second class citizens who have no future, if you will. Like how many moms or dads, like how many parents have responded to their child coming out as gay to them with, well, like, are you sure? Like, have you really thought about this? Like, you realize that like you can't ever have a family or be happy
Yeah.
if you go that direction. And every disparaging thing that can be said to a child has been said by parents and by church leaders and throughout society and in the news and in the media. Like, I don't know who's gotten more hate, like gay people or Jews or women. Probably women. Probably women have got the most hate. Um, Even more sad. But while society is slowly making the shift to where we have things like Pride Month that I think most people are okay with now, not necessarily in the church, but in society, most people recognize Pride Month and there's a shift. But within the church, it depends on who your bishop is.
Mhm,
And if you've got a neighbor that actively speaks out against it.
mhm,
And it only takes a few, really even one, it only takes one unsafe person that actively calls out those that are gay that ruins the environment for someone who might have felt comfortable with everyone else in that same environment, right?
yeah, mhm,
Not really
yeah.
getting to any kind of resolution here, but
No, it's that that's the hard part, is that's that's what makes it so hard, I think, and is that this is really, like, that lacking wisdom of right now that my not even just, like, my mind and my spirit think different things, but just,
mm.
like, my mind, or my spirit and spirit is
Okay.
like, everything's being split in a way, and so, like, that's one of those that I I just, like, I empathize and for those that are actually going through it firsthand, because that's something that, again, they like I that's not something that I've had to go through personally, right? And have that struggle. And so it's even hard for me just thinking through like how to respond to someone with that, you know? And how can I show love and compassion while showing love and compassion, like showing love to Christ and to his church in a way. But then I think that's the dangerous part, that it's is it the law, right? That we had talked about last time, right? And is that what saves us, or is it who we're becoming and how we're treating people? And I think it's gonna fall more towards the latter, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're going to be judged off of the two great commandments, ultimately. Jesus Christ is going to stand on our behalf. Man, what's that word? He's going to intercede, right? We're going to have judgment with Heavenly Father. Jesus Christ is going to step in and he's going to say, I suffered for their sins, and let him through, essentially.
Yeah, right.
I'm going to go off for a second. I had this plan of like, let's go through this. Let's go through this. Let's go through this. I've got to just like, just spew my thoughts here. Okay. The plan of salvation is a tough one with
Mm-hmm.
Pride Month.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot imagine struggling with uh, being on the pride spectrum, you know, not being attracted to women, instead being attracted to men, and being told that the only way to reach the highest level of glory, or like to be truly happy, is to get married in the temple to someone I'm not attracted to and have that relationship be my eternal destination. Like, does that not sound like the most nonsensical thing ever? Like, if you just flip it, like, you think about how ridiculous it sounds. Like, I don't think people consider for a moment, like, if you were told to flip your experience and say, well, gosh, what if I learned that in order to get into heaven, I had to marry a gay man and be gay with them, and that's my eternity, where I'm going to be apparently be the happiest,
Mm-hmm.
is if I can go against my nature.
Yeah.
Like
And
that
it's like, well, I don't
that's
want
the
to do that then.
yeah,
I don't
like
want to. I want to go to that place.
like
Right.
that place isn't for me, right?
Yeah. Yep.
But so many members of the church, we try to force our idea of heaven on them. And we tell them, this is how you're going to be happiest. And it's not going to make sense in this life. But you need to go against your nature, which, like, yeah, nature of man is fallen. Like, there's that scripture in Mosiah, right? The natural man is the enemy of God and has been since the fall of Adam, and will be forever and ever unless he yields to the enticings of the Holy Spirit and putteth off the natural man. Yes, okay. But when you start to just think about, like, how would my life be different if I was attracted to the opposite sex that I'm attracted to right now? Everything, absolutely everything, becomes harder for gay people. There's not a single thing that gets easier, and I'm convinced that uh, like most members just don't consider that, or they think that gay people are gay by choice. Like, do a little research on that one, maybe.
Mhm.
Um, the church's official stance: no one knows why gay people are gay. They don't have any official stance on like what makes someone gay versus straight. Thank goodness for that one. Um, that was how I was raised. Was that like I was literally raised uh, with the idea that conversion therapy was a plus, that it was a
Mhm.
value for gay
Mhm.
people, that it helped them. Oh man,
Well, that was a big thing. Like sending people to kind of a kind of a funny thing to do is to send a bunch of same gender attracted people to a group of same gender attracted people, and and thinking
yeah.
that's gonna work out, right? On flipping them, right? And it's like, okay, that's not gonna work. They might find their future husband, but
I mean, there a lot of it was practically torture too. I mean, it was
yeah,
torture. Like we're talking
yeah,
shock therapy
yep,
and um, like actual torture tactics used to try
yeah,
to get the script in people's
yeah,
minds to change.
yep,
A lot of people just like to pretend that never happened or that it doesn't still happen today.
yeah, right,
Even among members of the church and likely even like family members, I don't think they realize the amount of hate there still is,
hmm,
mostly from religious groups. Entirely from religious groups? I don't,
yeah, 100% from religious groups,
right?
yeah,
Um, that we make their lives hell.
yeah,
And
to conform into that.
yeah,
Well, and
we
that's
want them
that's
to
one
be
of
the same
those
as
too
us.
that, and isn't that like the sad part too is that I guess that's kind of the that fear, and that's where I start to go away from that stuff, right? Is that's a fear tactic of, hey, if you're doing this, you're gonna be miserable your whole life. So I'm gonna shock you so you're not miserable. The shocking is gonna be less miserable than what hell's gonna be, you know? And it's like, whoa, like that's
Boy.
crazy, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
And
yeah, yeah.
and and then I always heard this too of like the, hey, well, like they can have same gender attraction, but as long as they don't act on it. And it's one of those that, like, I get it. Like same thing like with a heterosexual relationship, like until you're married, like no acting on it, right? But at the same time, there's still a
There's
point
something to
when
look forward
you're gonna
to.
there's something to look forward to. Yeah. And with 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 someone in that scenario, it's like there's no end. And the end is death. And that's why it's so dark for so many of them, is because then they think that they're happier when they're not here, and that's not the case, right? As we want them here, we need them here, right? We need their phenomenal spirits, right? And 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 just that crazy amount of love that they do have, right, to share
Yeah.
through the world. And so, yeah, I think, and yeah, and I guess that's my question then next is like, so what can we do, right? Like how, if so we've talked, I mean, first off, like need to show love and everything like that, like, and if you're someone that is LGBTQ plus, like we support, love you, and want you, like, I wish that we had more members at church with that, because they do bring us, they bring a light about them that's cool, and and fun to be around. And it's like I want to have more of those members around, make sure that they feel included. Um, but then
Can
also
we
like, yeah, go
can
for
we
it.
take a second and just talk about some things that some members legitimately think of as loving
Yeah, let's
that
hear it.
are likely not helpful, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
This is pretty bold. So if I offend you, I apologize in advance, but also maybe not really, because you
We
should
don't
know this
care.
already. Calling someone out, reminding them that, like, you're not welcome in heaven, or like you're not gonna be happy, or like, if you take it upon yourself to say anything to someone in the pride community other than, like, I appreciate that you're here and I love you, you're a problem. And you're not only not loving them, you're actively a thorn in their in their life. Like, um you could do anything else. Anything else. If you can keep your mouth shut in regards to, like, gay people,
Yes.
the world is a
Uh-huh.
better place.
It is.
Like, the whole idea of, like, if you're not gonna say something nice, like, don't say anything at all. Like, just consider that for a little bit.
Do that.
Like,
Yeah.
there are lots of people that speak out against gay people.
Uh-huh.
If you feel the need to speak out against gay people, um, you're not welcome.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I don't know, like,
Like,
get out.
we
Like,
don't we don't
I
want you.
don't
Yeah.
yeah, you aren't my friend. You never will
Yeah.
be.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, that's the
and
funny
I
thing
feel
too, is it's like,
sorry for
yeah,
your friends and family who you will negatively influence with your
right.
hate.
Yep. And then it's like, oh, and then they wonder why they're once their kids leave home that they never return and want to talk to them, right? Or
That's the hardest thing, right? Is that they're
yeah,
completely oblivious.
yeah, and or they come at people and they're just mad because their husband has a porn addiction and he has to they they've got to go through stuff, and so she wants to take it out on someone else, right? And it's just like, okay, like, er, back out, like, your life's not perfect,
Yeah.
so, like, you're not perfect, so
It's like,
let's just
maybe
support and love.
that's something we can just do more of, is just, like, recognize that everyone's human. If
Mhm,
there's anything that we're taking from the Old Testament study this year, like, please let it be that good people make terrible mistakes,
mhm,
and in some cases, like, actively live in opposition of what would be considered like, acceptable or good. Like, if look at the fathers of the Bible that everyone looks back to, right? Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. If you study them and their families, don't skip over the parts where they have just horrible family lives. Yes, the
yeah,
families stick together. You know what's impressive? They stick together and they love their families.
mhm,
And they have a duty to their families where they don't leave them behind. Like, even Israel's sons, Jacob's sons, who commit actual atrocities, like, they kill
yeah,
people. Like, that's
mhm,
terrible. Somehow Jacob finds it in him to continue loving them. And yes, does he say some very unkind things about them on his deathbed? Absolutely. But, like, if those families, if Jacob, if Israel, if the whole world comes from the loins of Israel, a very flawed man who chose to serve the Lord, and God called him because he was willing to serve. If we can accept all of his mistakes and his family's mistakes and all of the interfamily drama between Rachel and uh who's the other wife? Rachel and dang it.
spacing it too, I know.
Yeah, the other
That's okay.
ones. If you can accept that he married wife's concubines and all the stuff that doesn't make sense there. Find it in your heart to accept those who are part of the Pride community. It's not our job to judge them. It is our job to love them. And
Mhm.
I am so passionate that if Jesus were here, he would reach out to gay people the same way that he reached out to the the woman caught in adultery. I think he would reach out and he would behold them and love them, right?
Mhm.
And he would invite them to follow him, and he would do whatever he could to help them.
Mhm.
But
Well,
he
I like
doesn't
how
stop us from sinning, right? Sorry, go for it.
you're
Rant
fine.
over mostly.
Well, I like how you said that, like, they made mistakes, but they still had the obligation to their family. Like, we are that human family, and, like, we have an obligation to make sure that those brothers and sisters are taken care of, right? That all brothers and sisters are taken care of. Like, we carry that responsibility as members of the church to see that their needs are met physically, temporally, spiritually, like all those, right? And like that's our responsibility as members is to
Absolutely.
ensure their well-being and that they're taken care of. And if so many of them struggle with even just the physical mental part, like we can't focus on spiritual. Yeah, like we got to take care of them, make sure that they're protected, watched after,
Yeah.
right? And show that forward. Um, and then yeah, but then I'll play the devil's advocate to you, and we can kind of walk through this.
Please. I've got
Devil's
some words for you. Devil's
devil's
advocate, please.
advocate, if which is oddly the someone trying to follow Christ still example, right? Like an active member who like we said, a lot of times it's ignorance and they don't know. Like they haven't talked to enough people that aren't like them, right? That aren't straight white males. So, um, and a lot of them will say, well, yeah, to help them spiritually, then we need to tell them not to because it's a sin, right? Like, and that kind of goes back to that temple recommend question of like, is that also our responsibility to do that?
Let me pose a question in that case. Like, would would you say like our responsibility as children of God, would you say it's to help members get back to God and like become more like Christ?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Is someone more likely to learn about and become like Christ in a group of people of faith who worship together as a community? Or do you think they'll become more like Christ and more likely to follow him on their own?
Mm. In the group for sure.
Right? If they can't be comfortable in the group, they're going to have to figure out their own way.
Mm-hmm.
And I think Jesus would welcome them.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if we see anything from Jesus in the Gospels, it's that he shuns the tradition and the leadership of the church that's around him. It's flawed. And he goes to the lowest and the most humble and the ones who have made serious mistakes and his grace is sufficient for them, the
Mhm.
lowest of the low, who arguably would not be the ones that we would judge as like going to heaven or like the kingdom of heaven.
Mhm.
If he's going to the sinners, then he's going to the people who need his love the most. And yeah, we can do more to love,
Mhm.
right? There, I feel like there's so many examples of this. We just saw Les
Yep.
Mis. We just saw Les
Yeah.
Mis recently.
Yeah.
The priest forgives Valjean,
Mhm.
uh, doesn't condemn him. Valjean robbed from him. He's legit a criminal. Well, becoming more of a criminal. He just stole a loaf of bread.
Right.
But the priest forgives him. Uh, Most
And
people would say,
says, "Hey, you also forgot your candlesticks," right?
and yes, gives him the candlesticks, gives him a way to get out of his situation, monetarily, right? Um, some people would say that criminals don't belong in our. Some people would say if you get stolen from, that person doesn't deserve your love or anyone's love. And gosh, is any of this coherent? Is any of this helpful to anybody? I don't know. We'll see. But um, my thoughts on this have changed a lot over the years, and I am even okay. This is again. I feel like I have to put this disclaimer here. Obviously, not church doctrine. Might even be a little opposed. Is my temple recommend in jeopardy? I don't think so, and here's why. Um, I think for gay people who choose to have relationships with others of the same sex that are married and act on their biological imperative. Like, I'm so glad that they get to exercise their agency and learn for themselves. I don't think it's our job to judge them or tell them what to do. And I think the closer they get to Christ, like the more they will know for themselves what they should do. And it's not our place to judge them.
Mm. Yep.
There are those that, like, it's tough. Like church leadership, like bishops, stake presidents, whatever, they're supposed to have the authority and the inspiration to make decisions for their ward. That's a tough one. I don't envy them. I hope I'm never a bishop so that I don't have to make some of these decisions. But if you ask me now or in the near future, like what my decision would be, I would say let's welcome them with open arms, treat them like every other member, and encourage members to love them and support them. And I actually think celebrating Pride Month is a great way to exercise your faith in Christ and follow the two great commandments of love God and love others. And I'm going to put love others above the law of Moses every single time, right? If
Mhm.
Jesus did away with the law of Moses and his grace is sufficient for us, let's let people use their agency and allow them to exercise their agency the way they decide to.
Mhm.
And we'll let them worship how, where, what they may, right?
Mhm. Yep. And as you're saying that, I'd also invite those members of the church who have been maybe that just don't understand or have been on that
Mm,
side that, oh, you like it's a gross people, or like we shouldn't, respect them, or hey, like they're a bunch of sinners and don't belong, and all the things, or even just, yeah, those, like any member that if you're around someone that is a part of the LGBTQ community and you feel awkward around them, there's it's probably a sign that you need to get to know someone a little bit more.
yeah.
And my invite for for those members, which being in south end of Utah County, will probably be the majority of them, is that don't have a lot of experience. There's the use your agency, right, to try and be more supportive. Use your agency to realize that, hey, waving to that neighbor isn't going to send you to hell. In fact, it'll draw you closer to Christ, right? Or, hey, like if someone that needs a ride to a pride parade, right, this Sunday, give them a ride, right? If
Is it
someone,
this Sunday?
I believe so, might need to
Oh,
look that up.
cool.
Yeah, my sister's going. You go to it, and it's really just one of those, like, why why not use your agency to see, where you stand with this, and and if it's if you go and you realize, like, hey, like people aren't so bad here, then welcome, join the club, right? And we're we're be excited to have them, and be excited to support and be helpful, rather than hurtful. Doesn't mean you need to go and hang a pride flag from your house or anything like that. Like, you're not forced into anything, but use your agency to to think of new ways and to reach out. Again, you don't need to be marching in a parade or anything like that, right? Like,
Mm,
you don't need to go do that, but you can be more supportive, and just think of ways that you can do that. And I mean, if using your agency is going and marching in a parade or going and attending one, like, yeah, go do it. See how it
yeah,
is, right?
yeah.
But
Experience
um,
for yourself.
yeah, exactly.
But and at the same time, like I truly believe Jesus's response to those who judge or just like all they can do is point a finger at those that are in the pride community. If all you feel is like anger or something in regards to gay people, like Jesus said, he who is without sin cast the first stone, right? Consider your own sins for a minute and don't focus on the sins or perceived sins of others. What's one of the best things about this life, and it's truly a gift for all of us, is that God is the judge, that we don't have to be the judges for others. We've just been commanded to love. And loving is a lot easier when you let go of the fear and the anger that has built up from your experiences in life in regards to gay people. And it probably applies to a lot of other things too. But like for some reason, gay people are the low hanging fruit for others to be upset and mad at and mad about. And you will be shocked how much lighter you feel when you let that go and choose to love and let God be the judge. Man, I feel like I've just been preachy for like 50 minutes straight. Like,
Hey,
am I? Is
no, I think that's great, because I think that too many people are preachy the other way about this, right? Like, so many people preach the hey, whole sin part and don't realize that these people have been battling this their whole life and don't always feel good with themselves, and that because of the culture that we're set up in, right? And this is their opportunity to feel good, feel accepted and included,
Yeah,
because it is a group of like-minded people and people coming around to support them. And so
yeah,
again, that's our responsibility. Our responsibility is not to judge. It's to love. And how cool is that that we don't have to judge, right? Like, to all your points that you've been saying is like, take that burden off yourself and just go love. Like, you don't need to make the judgment.
yeah.
and,
But
and
before you
hopefully
say
through
that
your associate,
unkind thing,
yeah,
yeah,
yep,
don't be the reason someone wonders if they should take their own life.
hmm
That's like an honest, actual result and consequence of like persecutions of the pride group, right? Like, if you could just guarantee that you're not going to be the reason that someone questions whether they should take their life, knowing that there are plenty of others who are already filling that role and making them question, like, if you can be one more reason that their life is valuable, I'm going to argue 100 times out of 100 that um, supporting Pride Month is not a disqualifying belief or action for a temple recommended review. Yeah, got there. Didn't mean to interrupt
amen.
you.
No, that was great. That was great. No, I'm same page. And but as always, maybe our conclusion is different than yours. Um,
Yeah,
out there on either side. Um, and but again, we're lacking wisdom. We're always trying to move along and progress, but that's what we anchor on, is that love God, love others, and we'll go from there. Use our agency, act, and see how it is, and test things out, and go from there. So
thanks for patience with us. We're lacking wisdom, so maybe we'll come back with some additional thoughts on this. But um, yeah, thanks for
there
being
we
here
are.
with us.
Yeah. Catch us next time on the lacking wisdom.
Yeah,
Share it with your friends, family, to anyone. Love to spread the good news, all the good stuff. If you think this is good, thank you for spreading. And you have very terrible taste in in what you listen to, but we're glad to have you
thanks for your
and have
patience
you
with
with us.
us,
Yep.
and maybe the next episode will be better if you're okay with random rants about you know pride. Um, and for any that know us that are part of the pride community, we love you, we support you, and hopefully hopefully this has been uplifting. I don't know.
Hopefully.
um, yeah,
Yep. Absolutely. But hey, much love and catch you on the next time.
peace.
See you later.